Welcome back to Limitless Mentality, where we discuss profound psychological truths to help you improve your life. Today, we're breaking down 15 cognitive biases that are quietly controlling your life without you even realizing it. These invisible mental shortcuts shape the way you think, feel, and make decisions. And if you don't understand them, they'll keep running the show from behind the curtain. Number 1. Confirmation bias. This is one of the most common traps. Confirmation bias makes you seek out information that supports what you already believe, while ignoring anything that challenges it. Let's say you believe people can't change. You'll start noticing every time someone messes up and use that as proof, while completely overlooking the people who've turned their lives around. It makes you feel right, but it stops you from actually growing. And the scariest part? You'll feel more confident in your beliefs the more you fall for this bias, even if they're completely wrong. Number 2. Anchoring bias. Anchoring is what happens when your brain latches onto the first piece of information it gets and refuses to let go. For example, if you see a jacket priced at $500, then see it on sale for $300, it feels like a great deal. But if you never saw the $500 price first, you'd probably think $300 was way too much. This happens in relationships, job offers, and even self-worth. That first anchor shapes how you see everything that comes after, whether it's logical or not. Number 3. The Dunning-Kruger Effect. This one's a bit embarrassing, but we've all done it. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is when people with low ability at something overestimate how good they are. It's why someone with no experience might feel super confident giving advice, while actual experts second-guess themselves. The truth is, the more you learn about something, the more you realize how much you don't know. That humility can make you smarter, but only if you get past the illusion of overconfidence first. Number 4. Availability heuristic. Your brain loves shortcuts, and one of its favorites is the availability heuristic. Basically, if something comes to mind easily, you think it's more likely to be true or common. Hear about a plane crash on the news? Suddenly flying feels more dangerous, even though it's statistically way safer than driving. This bias skews your perception of risk, safety, and even how you judge people. It's fast, it's lazy, and it's often completely wrong. Number 5. Optimism bias. It sounds like a good thing, and sometimes it is. But optimism bias makes you believe that you're less likely to experience something bad compared to others. You think other people will get divorced, get sick, or fail, but not you. This can make you reckless with your choices, ignore warning signs, or avoid preparing for hard times. Real confidence comes from preparation, not just believing everything will magically work out. Number 6. Negativity bias. On the flip side, there's negativity bias, which makes bad news stick in your brain more than good news. One mean comment will ruin your whole day, even if 10 people said something kind. Your mind is wired to pay more attention to threats than rewards, because that helped our ancestors survive. But in everyday life, it can distort your view of reality and make everything feel worse than it is. You start expecting pain, and then you find it everywhere. Number 7. Fundamental attribution error. This bias makes you judge other people's mistakes as a reflection of who they are, while blaming your own mistakes on the situation. If someone cuts you off in traffic, they're a jerk. But if you do it, you were just running late. It's not about fairness. It's about protecting your ego. But this bias makes it harder to empathize with others and easier to make enemies. The truth is, people are usually reacting to their circumstances just like you. Number 8. Groupthink. Groupthink happens when the pressure to fit in becomes stronger than the desire to think clearly. You might agree with something you know is wrong, just to avoid rocking the boat. It shows up at school, at work, and even with your friends. You go along with the group to feel safe, but that safety can cost you your integrity, and over time, it disconnects you from your own voice. Learning to stand out when it matters is what builds real confidence. Number 9. Status quo bias. Change is scary, even when it's necessary. Status quo bias makes you stick with what's familiar, even if it's bad for you. A job you hate, a toxic relationship, a lifestyle that's slowly draining you. This bias convinces you that different means dangerous, so you stay stuck. But growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. If you want better, you have to risk leaving what's normal behind. Number 10. Self-serving bias. This one's sneaky. Self-serving bias means you take credit when things go well, but blame others when they don't. If you ace a test, you think it's because you're smart. If you fail, you blame the teacher. This protects your self-esteem in the short term, but it also stops you from learning. Owning your mistakes feels hard in the moment, but it's the only way to get better. Blame feels good. Responsibility creates growth. Number 11. The sunk cost fallacy. Ever stayed in a relationship, job, or project just because you already put so much time into it? That's the sunk cost fallacy. You think, I've come this far, I can't quit now, even if it's clearly not working. But those past efforts are gone. They're not coming back. The only question that matters is, does this still make sense going forward? Letting go isn't quitting. It's choosing not to waste your future just because of your past. Number 12. The halo effect. The halo effect is when one positive trait makes you assume someone is great at everything. If someone's attractive, we tend to think they're also smart, kind, and capable, even when they're not. This shows up in hiring decisions, friendships, and even relationships. You fill in the blanks with what you want to believe instead of seeing people clearly. It's not fair to them or to you. Number 13. Just world hypothesis. The just world hypothesis is the belief that people get what they deserve. If something bad happens, you assume the person must have done something to cause it. It helps you feel safe, like the world is fair, but it can make you cold and judgmental. The truth is, life isn't always fair, and believing it is can stop you from being compassionate when people need it most. Number 14. The spotlight effect. You're not being watched as closely as you think. The spotlight effect is your brain's way of making you feel like everyone notices your mistakes, your outfit, or the awkward thing you just said. But most people are too busy thinking about themselves to notice. This bias creates unnecessary anxiety and holds you back from trying new things. Once you realize nobody's really watching, you're free to be bold. Number 15. Survivorship bias. We love success stories, but we rarely hear from the people who failed. Survivorship bias makes you look at the winners and think, if they did it, so can I, without realizing how many people tried and didn't make it. You hear about the millionaire dropouts, but not the thousands who dropped out and struggled. That doesn't mean success is impossible. It just means the full picture matters. Wisdom comes from understanding both the victories and the losses. Your brain is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and these biases are like hidden programs running in the background. They're not evil, but if you're not aware of them, they'll quietly shape your entire life without your permission. The more you learn to spot them, the more power you gain to choose your own path with clarity and intention. Which of these cognitive biases do you catch yourself falling into the most? And which one surprised you the most today? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more eye-opening insights. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and stay limitless.